as you can see, it's another chainsaw video, and like I said in the last video, I was going to be picking up my Husqvarna 572, the brand new model, the Husqvarna 572 with auto tune, which means that you do not do any tuning whatsoever to the saw. It does it all itself. Now, when you get the saw, so I got a special deal. The 572s were on a discount. I don't know if it was nationally with Husqvarna deals or whatever, but the shop that I went into, it was at a discount. I've got oil on the handle. So instead of paying $2,100 and something dollars, it was $1,800 and something dollars. So it was about $300 cheaper. And coincidentally, or strangely, if you want to buy an old 372, like a brand new old stock 372, it's actually dearer than the brand new model, the 572, which is a bit weird. I would have thought they would have gone down in price, but they haven't because they're so popular. Now, what do you get with the 572? Well, that's the original cover, clutch cover, and it's got these captive nuts, which you can take off. Yeah, you can take them off. They're split, so the things that hold them in place are split, so you just squeeze them together and you can push the nuts out. Having captive nuts is a good thing, but one of the issues that I have with this cover, it does not have, I'd have to drill it in there, a screw hole to hold the big dog in place, so that when you do take the cover off, you're not removing the dog as well. That dog just stays on the cover. Now, so this is not the original cover, this is an aftermarket cover. It's not a Husqvarna cover, but it's a pretty good copy. And it came with a tensioner mechanism, and that tensioner mechanism is pretty good. Other than that, the covers are pretty much the same. There's not really much difference other than the captive nuts, and it's missing the hole. I don't know, I think that one might have not had the hole either. It had a recess and I had to drill it out and tap it. So I might do that to the original cover, although I have got a full wrap handle coming, which I had to get from the United States, otherwise I would have had to pay double what I paid. And with that is a replacement cover, a silver replacement cover. So yeah, I don't know exactly what, for people who don't like captive nuts, I suppose, why they wouldn't like them, I'm not really sure. So you get the saw, naturally you get a cover for the bar, you get that dog, one dog, which is on the inside, which is, yeah, it's a bit of a toy as far as I'm concerned. You also get your instruction manual, which covers 565, 572 XP, 572 XPG, and the G is the heated handle model, which we certainly do not need here in Australia. You get a scranch, which is really crappy. You'd think this was out of a Chinese saw set. It's pretty crap. Like the actual play on the nuts is like that much. Yeah, this is rubbish. Husqvarna should be doing better than that. And so Husqvarna have gone to T27 Torx for all the screws, which is good, like steel. The only issue is, that, yeah, it's okay. It's alright, it's a little bit loose. Yeah, nothing special. How's that compared to it? No. It's actually, yeah, it's not bad. It's okay. What else do you get? So that's all you get. Now, when I was there and picked it up yesterday, the guy who gave the saw to me said, "Oh, you're lucky." I'm having a rumbo, sorry. Celebration. My new saw. The guy at the shop said, right, you're lucky. We've got we've had all these Husqvarna gift packs, and you're getting the last one, so that's nice. That might have been bullshit, but yeah, I suppose you were just telling the truth. So what you get in the gift pack is a file kit, which is 2 round files, a flat file, a handle for the files, a file guide, and also a depth gauge. So that's nice, all Husqvarna. And you also get a spare chain, so that's nice, a spare C85 X-Cut chain. So that's, I don't think that's the latest chain that they've got, but yeah, it's, I think the Hexa is the latest or something. So I've already replaced something. I've replaced the side cover and I've put the big dogs on. I'll see if I'll drill a hole in that side cover and put that holding screw, where is it, that one, put that holding screw on that cover. I don't know, I might just leave it as is. I've never, well, yeah, I have had bar nuts come loose and dropped on the ground, but luckily I saw it. I do like the idea of captive nuts though. That is a good idea. Good stuff, Husqvarna. Now, what are the so the previous model, the 372, obviously it wasn't auto-tune and you had to tune it, you know, especially if you were having massive temperature differences and moving, you know, in elevation, and as the saw heated up, you might have to tune it. Depending on what if you'd had something done to the saw, if you'd had some customization to like port work and that, ported saws can be a bit tricky tuning wise, so I'm told. I've never had a ported saw, but that's the information that I've been given. So let's take the cover off. How much different is it under the skin? Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, come on. So this should just come off, I think. Why isn't it coming off? Oh, yeah, all right. So there's a rubber grommet over the or under the decomp valve. There's a rubber grommet, so you got to rip that grommet off to be able to pull this cover off. So I'm not going to pull it off. There's a whole. It is obviously different. You know, the carby is different, and it's got a brain and whatnot and everything. But the major differences are that the dogs and the 372 cover fit on the 572. That's nice to see. They've got these quick release. I'll spin it around and show you. So on that side, that's pretty much. It's got this extra anti-vibe sort of zeroing screw bolt affair. It's got, so there's no tuning, but it's got a primer bulb. Alright, it's got a primer bulb, and what I've been told both by the guy at the shop, because I asked him, and I've seen online, is that you cannot flood the carburetor by using that bulb. You can if you have it on choke, because it's still got a choke. If you have it on choke and just keep trying to start it on choke, you will flood it. But with the primer bulb, you can't flood it. As well as being a primer, it's also a purge. So what happens is that it will fill the carby bulbs to the required amount, and it won't fill it anymore. Or it'll just feed it through. It'll just return it to the tank. Now, one of the advantages of that is that if your saw is really hot, and sometimes if a saw is really hot and you're in hot conditions, the fuel will be evaporating, or it'll be really hard to start because everything's really hot. What you can do is just hit the bulb a heap of times, and it'll purge the hot fuel and put cold fuel in and make it easier to start. Let's see what else is different. Obviously it looks different. I mean, it's physically you know, much rounder and much more svelte looking. That's a good word, svelte. And so it's got these quick release, flip up. Oh yeah, like that. Yeah, that's good. These flip up. I suppose I better undo it. Flip up fuel and oil caps. And it's got that type of, yeah, alright, that's good. That's nice. I'll pull it out and I'll show you. This is the type that I prefer to hold the cap in and not falling off. It's got those things that squeeze out instead of just a little sort of little plug affair that plugs into, you know, a slot in there, which is crap as far as I'm concerned. So it hasn't leaked out of either of those, which is nice. So the oil and the fuel are in the same place. Let's see what else. Some of the screws are what's it called, Torx and flat screw, like on the cover, on the recoil cover. Now, so the design of the 572 is that now, instead of the cylinder, the pot being straight up and down, it is actually angled back like 45 degrees, and the reason for that is that you can get better airflow, apparently. The muffler looks very constricted. There's a spark screen there, and yeah, that's not a very big outlet, so yeah, see if it's tight on there. Yeah, it's got a pretty small outlet, so I'll have to have. I have actually watched one guy modify a 572 muffler, but yeah, what's his name? Bellhopper. Yeah, I don't know. I'd want to, I think, do a nicer job than that. But so the reason why that grommet is there over the, so the decomp valve is, spin it around, the decomp valve, and there's probably people saying, oh, we know all about 572s, we've seen all the reviews and everything. Yeah, it doesn't matter, I'm doing mine anyway, I'm showing it off. So the decomp valve was previously on the side, now it's on the top. Yeah. And the reason why that grommet there is because the air cleaner and the air cleaner case, or the air cleaning system and carby system, is totally enclosed. The only place that it gets air from is via the flywheel under the recoil cover. So I suppose it's pretty important to keep that area really clean, otherwise your air filter will get gunked up a fair bit. Now, so that definitely rolls, no problems. So that, the 372 cover, no problems. That's nice. That's nice that there is some back compatibility. Now, I want to, so there it is. I'm not going to fire it up, and I'm not going to do anything with it until I get back from a couple of jobs that I've got to do, because I only got like, a couple of days off. So I don't really have anything decent to cut with it, to test it and show it off and that. So I'm not going to until I come back. So I'm going to leave you hanging. Yeah, until next time. Yeah. Yeah, go to commercial break. That sort of thing. Now, so these have been out for a few years. The handle's quite nice. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. These, so who is it that said it? Donnie Walker. So anyone who knows anything about chainsaws or modding chainsaws knows who Donnie Walker is. And he said that the Husqvarna 572 is the smoothest saw of all time. That's nice. So I won't know until I actually run it, but apparently it is. Let's see, what are the other... The comparable saw from steel is the 462. Now, the 462 is just like a couple of cc's bigger in displacement, so it's a slightly bigger engine. It's a bit lighter, but so it's got a little bit more power. But it's nowhere near as smooth as this. This is apparently just unbelievably smooth, which I'm really, really keen once I get back to to run it. Let's see, what else can I say? So they've been out for a few years. Sorry, Ben. They've been out for a few years. What year is this? Where does it say? Not sure what year it is. I'll probably be able to look it up. But obviously when they first came out, they had some hiccups with it, just getting it right, teething problems, because it was a major jump from the 372 to the 572, like a serious technological leap. So obviously they had some issues with that. Now, but the current ones that are available are, from all reports that I've heard and seen on YouTube and that, is that they're fantastic. Bjarne Butler, who is a professional logger in Canada, does a lot of heli logging. Have a look at his channel. If you want to see a guy cutting down huge trees for a living, like day after day, and his videos run for almost a couple of hours. He videos everything, or almost everything. His name is Bjarne Butler, Bjarne Butler, Butler. His channel, watch that. Yeah, he's great. I suppose some people consider it a bit kind of strange to just sit there watching a guy for an hour and a half, 2 hours, just cutting down trees. But you learn a lot. You learn a lot by watching the pros, because, I'm just a guy who likes chainsaws. I don't know shit from clay, and I'll admit it. Any day of the week, I really don't know much. Still learning a lot. And even the guys who've been working with chainsaws for a long time, modifying, building, repairing, even they say they're still learning. So I don't think you ever stop learning. Anyone who says they've stopped learning is just, I'm not interested in talking to, because they've got a closed mind. They think they know it all. Nobody knows it all. Which brings me on to a really controversial subject. So, controversy warning. And this is controversial. There are, because, I'll tell you why it's controversial. Because everybody seems to have a different idea or opinion. And there are that many people who say, no, this is what I do, and I never have a problem with my saws. So, now and I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about oil to fuel mix ratio. Now, on the bottle itself, so I run Husqvarna LS Plus, which is fully synthetic. It's supposed to be a really good oil. And it says on the bottle, mix 1 to 50, or we would say, outside Europe, 50 to 1. Now, and so does steel. Steel also says use 50 to 1. So the manufacturer's argument for 50 to 1 is that if you use our oil, so if you use a Husqvarna oil in a Husqvarna, steel oil in a steel, or some of the better known, better quality oils, there's probably better quality oil than those two, they say all you need is 50 to 1, because oil technology has come a long way, in whatever 50 years as far as two-stroke saws are concerned, or two-strokes in general. Motorbikes, whippersnippers, or what we call weed whackers, what we call whippersnippers, and so forth, and mowers and that. Now, so their claim is that our oil is now so highly advanced that you only need to mix 50 to 1. and you will get good lubrication and have no problems, and the saw will last for a long time. Now, here's the counter argument. So, the place where I bought this from, because I wanted to know his opinion, because he said, yeah, I'm second generation. My father started this shop, so it's been around for a long time. And he said, and I've been working on saws and selling saws for 25 years. Which is, you know, when someone tells you that, you go, yeah, all right, respect. And I said to him, what mixture do you recommend? Because obviously the manufacturers recommend 50-1. He said, no, don't run 50-1. It'll get fried. You'll burn it out. I said, right. He said, it won't get enough lubrication. Okay, he said, I've had saws that were out for a week and came back because they were running it at 50-1. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see any reason why he would lie about it, because I didn't buy any oil from him. He didn't ask me to buy any oil from him. And I said, why? Why? So what do you recommend? He said 25-1. And I said, wow, that's a huge difference, double the amount. And he said, yes. And I said, why? And he said, because you're not getting enough lubrication with 50-1. I said, fair enough. I said, so why are the manufacturers recommending 50-1 then? I mean, you know, it'd be suicide for them to recommend to use a mixture ratio that would destroy their equipment, you know, and people would be coming back and just getting warranty after warranty after warranty because they ran it at 50-1 and it burnt out after, you know, a couple of months use. And he said, yeah, I understand that. He said, but, he said, so I'll tell you why. Recommending 50-1. And he said, one reason only. I said, yeah, all right, what? He said, EPA, emissions control standards. Because regardless of what industry or what machinery or whatever, everything is getting greener. So less emissions into the atmosphere. And that includes chainsaws. And he said the only reason they recommend 50-1 is because of emission control standards. That's it. And I was like, yeah, all right. Well, I said, well, hang on a minute. Haven't oils gotten better? He said, not really. He said, oil is oil. I said, yeah, but that's fully synthetic compared to the mineral oils that people were using previously. And he said, it doesn't matter. It's a load of bullshit. So, anyone who's watching this who knows anything about chainsaws, please let me know, what do you mix your fuel at? I'd like to know. Because I've watched, I don't know, countless videos about people saying why they're there's one guy I watched recently, he mixes his ratio at 80-1. Whoa. I don't know, that's, I don't know about that, 80-1. Now, so what have I been, I used to mix it at 32-1, like years ago. And then after getting into chainsaws and that, and watching videos and that, and it seems like 40-1 seems to be like the happy medium, the number that everyone's sort of happy with, right? Now, I'm not going to stop, because I said to the guy at the shop, I said, 25-1, that's crazy. I run everything at 40-1, like all of my two-strokes, regardless of whether they're Chinese copy saws or whether the Shindaiwa that I've got or, the cheap weed whacker combo that I've got, which is a pole saw and weed whacker and whatnot, but I only use those two attachments. And I said, I run everything at 40-1 and I don't have a problem. And he said, well, look, it's better than 50-1. So, I intend to keep mixing my fuel at 40-1. I don't have any intention of going to 50-1, and I don't have any intention of going 25-1. So there's the reason why I'm definitely not going to 25-1, and there's a couple of reasons. Number one, what you will get is a whole lot of carbon deposits around the exhaust port, in the muffler, the spark screen, and in the combustion chamber. That's going to happen. If you're, it's definitely going to happen, right? And one of the problems with carbon fouling is that if a piece of that shit comes off and gets in the bore, it'll score it, because carbon is really, really hard. It's the hardest substance on earth, believe it or not. Yeah, diamonds. Yeah, all right, carbon fouling is not diamond, but it is still very, very hard substance. The other reason, so I don't want extra fouling, and even oil coming out of your exhaust, that not a whole lot, but it will come out. The other reason, if you run it at 25:1, it's going to be like a smoke machine. You're going to be pumping out tons of smoke, and I think one of the reasons why it pumps out, will be pumping out, is because it's unburnt. You want to be trying to burn up everything that's going in there and have only a little bit of carbon actually getting out. So I'm going to keep mixing it 40:1. Apparently the other issue, that if you mix a very high ratio, so say 25:1, is that your saw will run hotter. It runs hotter, because I saw a guy actually do an experiment of 50:1, 25:1. So it will heat up quicker, it will run hotter, and there is a chance that it will lean out. I think that chance is minimised with the auto tune, because the brain in the saw takes into account the mixture and adjusts things accordingly, right? With pre-auto tune and M-tronic saws, you would have to watch the tuning, how the high, I think the high jet. So with the old saws, you had a chance. There was a risk, if you were running a lot of oil in the mixture, of it leaning out. So, which is bad, because you'll cook it. So I'm going to be running it at 41. I don't know what other people run at. Well, I do. The only people, well, I do. I know what a lot of people run their saws at, because I've watched a shitload. I've asked the guy at the shop, and I think my local shop, I can't remember what he recommended. He said, look, use really good oil, and I think he said 35:1 or 40:1, probably 40:1. So I'm just going to keep running it at 40:1. But so I've still got the full wrap handle coming, and I've got that's coming with the silver cover as well. So that's going to be good. I like full wrap handles. I think they're essential. That's pretty much all I've got to report. But in any case, let me know what mixture you run. I'd like to know, and results, and whatever. Especially if you've done it over a period of years, and and you can say, well, I've run it at this mixture, and I've not had a problem, and my I've had a look at the pot, inside the pot. I've had a look at the piston, and it's not scored, and it's not worn, excessively worn, or anything, or you can't see bluing on the clutch, or the bar, where everything's on the clutch mainly, where everything's heated up because it's too hot. I'd be interested to know, but generally speaking, the saw looks beautiful. It's a really nice, attractive looking saw, for all you saw lovers. Yeah, so the clutch cover is plastic. I mean the what's it called? The recoil cover is plastic. Looks like plastic, I think. Yeah, I think it's plastic. Yeah. So it's got the extra screw hole for the wraparound handle. No problems there. One of the issues that I have with this crappy half-assed dog that they put on here is it doesn't come with a chain catcher. Oh, that's loose. Yeah, it doesn't come with a chain catcher at all, which is crazy. So this set of big dogs that I got does. So that's pretty much it. So when you see me next time, I might even have my new rifle too, which it'll be a surprise. It's nice, I like it. So next time you'll see me, I just don't have enough time to do proper testing with it, so you're gonna have to wait. Next time you'll see me, I'll be testing this, be cutting a tree down and testing it, and maybe showing off my new rifle. So until then, see you later.